will share what I feel about education, what I've learned about education, and what is learning and what is education. And today, the big thing is the compassion is also prefixed here. Compassion and education. Again, it's a very difficult one because compassion is actually, the compassion is always there in the education, but in this modern world, the compassion is already taken out from the education. Like when we talk about the medicines, we say garlic, yeah. Garlic is a very medicinal thing. It is there in many of the capsules, but the smell of the garlic is taken out. That means everything is gone. So in the same way, when the compassion is taken out from education, means now nothing is there, but still, being as a Buddhist, in that emptiness also I see something, and what I see is only the industries. Now the education has become an industry. It's a money minting machine, and of course education is a very, very profitable business also. The medical industries and the education industries are one of the biggest earning industries in this world actually. Even in the remote villages also, this education goes very well, and it's always a nagad ka business होता है. यहाँ कोई उधार नहीं चलता. उधार देता तो हम बच्चे को निकाल देंगे, फिर पैसा आ जाता है. And it's a very interesting business also. So I will just make my presentation short. I will just land with the basic aim of the education. I still don't understand what is education, but slowly and gradually I started to understand what is learning in the life. So today I'm here with you is only because of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And His Holiness Dalai Lama always says that if you want others to be happy, practice compassion, and if you want yourself to be happy, practice compassion. This is not only a practice, but it's a life actually. But sometimes we used to separate life and the practice. And sometimes I also don't understand. Many people, they say philosophy and practice are looked with a different angle. To me, philosophy and practice is the same. They are the two sides of the same coin. If you are not practicing your philosophy or your principle, means you are a hypocrite. You are not a human being. So it's a very interesting. I think the basic aim of education is to provide happiness, because this is our birthright. We all are human beings, and education is provided to a human child, basically. And wonderfully we used to say that human beings are most intelligent beings. But only human beings are put into the schools, colleges, university for education, not other sentient beings. So this is again a paradoxical, you can say, connotation about the things, what is happening in this world. So as I said, we are just educating the human child beings. We should understand why we are not trying to, you can say, draw out or trying to fill up medicine in the child. We are not feeling, you can say, mathematics in the child. We are actually awakening the humanness of the child. But this process is not there in many of the schools in this modern time. Actually, once we understand that the education is given to a human child, the basic role of the educator is to awaken the human values, the inborn human values, which is one is the compassion actually. This is not imported from the mall or the corporates, but it is there since the inception since the inception of the egg, or you can say since the fertilization of the egg, this compassion is there. But we never try to awaken this value or this quality in the child in the process of modern education. So this is one of the biggest drawback what I see as a teacher and what I see as an administrator in the school. So what I feel is that whenever we talk about the education, or whenever we talk about the compassion and education, we must focus the basic aims and objectives of the education. In 2005, Sambhota Rinpoche has made one policy in the Tibetan education, and that policy is known as a basic education policy. So in that basic education policy, we have incorporated 4 basic pillars. And number 1 is the humanness, which covers the 4 pillars actually. So the number 1 is the freedom, and second is the altruism, and third is the upholding the heritage, and fourth is the innovation. So when I study about these 4 pillars of education, it's a very interesting, because in freedom, when I explain this freedom, I see nirvana in this freedom. I see freedom of everything in this thing. So in freedom also, we used to say that freedom of thought and action is the most important, because when you understand that freedom of thought and action, all other freedom, all other pillars of the education will come up. So to change the education and to bring compassion in education, we have to focus on the fundamental human values in the curriculum. Then there can be some light in that direction. So we have to focus on the universal human values, and we have to focus about the awakening of the human intelligence. I should say spiritual intelligence. Human intelligence is a spiritual intelligence, really. And knowledge is a collection of information and the experiences, or you can say observations. And knowledge has no power. It's like you can say potential energy. And knowledge is always utilized by the human intelligence. So we have to awaken the human intelligence, caught it with the universal human value. Then I'm very sure that we can see something in the school, see something in the college and university, and definitely we can see great changes in the ministry also. Thank you so much.